I got a box, and tracking said they wouldn't be here till Saturday. It is Thursday today, and I am super excited. Hello Tarantula lovers, I'm Alex and you're watching Tarantula Haven. Today I've got an unboxing to do as well as an update on my assassin bugs. Now I'm kind of excited, so I've gone over this a couple of times in my head. Let me see if I can get this straight or keep this straight in my head so I can explain it to you. You may recall that a few months back I ordered some assassin bugs from Nature's Exquisite Creatures. The kind that I ordered were Platymeris biguttatus, commonly known as the white spot assassin bugs. And I was really excited to get them because I'd been wanting to get into assassin bugs for a long time, and I've been looking around, and all the normal vendors that I usually frequent either don't carry them or they hadn't had them in a long time. So I was really excited when they popped up on one of my favorite vendors, and that was Nature's Exquisite Creatures. So I ordered them, and you also may recall that I mentioned that that was not the ultimate assassin bug that I wanted to get into. The kind that I really like are the spiny assassin bugs, or Psytalla horrida. And they're also known as the Horrid King Assassin Bugs. And they get huge and they're beautiful, beautifully marked and all that. But those were the ones that I ultimately wanted to get. But I figured what better way to get my feet wet in keeping the white spot assassin bugs, because I had heard from a couple of people that the white spot assassin bugs were a little bit easier to keep than the spiny assassin bugs. So I figured that I could get my feet wet, learn about them, learn how to keep them, and see how well I did before I got into the spiny assassin bugs. Well, in the meantime, I had joined a group on Facebook that was all about assassin bugs, and I noticed that there were vendors there, that there were people there that did private sales of assassin bugs, and they did carry the spiny assassin bugs. So I had an opportunity, I think back in December before the temperatures really went down, to order some. But I didn't pull the trigger on them then because I figured I was still learning about them. I wanted to make sure I did well with the white spot assassin bugs before I went ahead and pulled the trigger on them. Well, I figured, you know, this guy breeds them. He has them here and there. I've seen them before. So maybe they would come up again later on. Well, they did, and he had them up for sale, and I figured, you know, the time is right. My other ones are almost adults. They're ready to be transferred, so let's go ahead and pull the trigger and get into the Psytalla horrida, and that's exactly what I have right here, and I'm thrilled to open it up and share that with you. So before I open this up and get into the spiny assassin bugs, I'm going to rehouse my white spot assassin bugs into this enclosure. That way what I can do is I can take the white spot assassin bugs and put them all in here, and I can reuse the same enclosure that the white spot assassin bugs were in to put my spiny assassin bugs into. And I figured it worked well for the white spot assassin bugs, so hopefully it will work just as well for the spiny assassin bugs. And that way I'm just doing a swap, and I don't really have to do a whole lot of transferring of material and all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and rehouse the white spot assassin bugs, and then we'll get a look at the spiny assassin bugs. Platymeris biguttatus, commonly known as the white spot assassin bug. This predatory insect is endemic to tropical Africa. It has a very wide distribution and can be found in humid tropical forests, particularly around hollow tree stumps and decaying logs. Platymeris biguttatus are fast-growing and can go from egg to adult in approximately 6 to 9 weeks. Adults can have a lifespan of about 2 years, and adults can reach sizes of about 1.5 inches. Assassin bugs feed by the means of a specialized mouthpart called a proboscis, with which it stabs its prey and injects venom, which kills the prey and liquefies the organs. They are not picky eaters and will eat pretty much any feeder insect that they can overpower. They are, however, messy eaters. They do not eat the entire insect but only suck out the liquefied insides and discard the rest. I pondered the idea of keeping isopods in the enclosure as a cleanup crew, but I learned while making the video that isopods will eat the eggs and will cause the colony to collapse. Springtails can be added without worry, and feeder roaches will often help with the cleanup of discarded carcasses. Spot cleaning is usually best to keep up with the mess. Assassin bugs also use their venom defensively and can deliver a very painful bite. Great care must be used not to handle or startle assassin bugs. Not only are they capable of inflicting a painful bite, but they can also spray their venom, which can cause pain and temporary blindness if sprayed into the eyes. This large nymph has the presence of wing buds, which means by next molt it should be an adult. They can be kept communally, in fact it is preferred, and they are voracious eaters. Keeping them well fed is a must because cannibalization can occur if they are not fed properly. Housing requirements depend on the size of the colony, but a taller enclosure is preferred so that cork bark or egg carton can be placed upright for them to climb. They molt upside down and need space to hang from to molt properly. It's best to keep a moisture gradient in the substrate for both humidity and for breeding. Females will lay eggs on the damp side of the substrate. Eggs can be left in the enclosure to develop or can be removed and incubated in a separate container for better hatching results. Alright, so we got the white spots rehoused, and by my count, I counted about 10 assassin bugs, which is not too bad. I started out with a dozen, and some cannibalization is expected, especially when they're in the small nymph stage. If you don't keep them well fed, they might attack each other, that kind of thing. Sometimes they'll prey on each other when they're vulnerable, if they've just molted or something like that. But for the most part, once they get a little bit of size on them, then they don't cannibalize each other unless you don't feed them well. But I figured that's not too bad. I've done pretty good. They're almost adults, and they seem to be getting along just fine now, and they are voracious eaters. They eat everything you put in there, and they go in there and they just attack whatever drops in. So it's always good to put a little bit of extra prey in there just so that it's still in the enclosure. And they're very messy eaters. So what I did with mine in here is I put dwarf white isopods in the substrate. So I guess it's kind of bioactive, and anything that falls down that they leave, any carcasses or anything like that, the isopods will pretty much take care of it. So, you know, that's kind of a win-win for them, and it works out pretty good so that things don't get too messy in there. I'm thinking about hitting up Russ from Aquarimax Pets and asking him if he would recommend an isopod that likes a little bit of drier conditions that would live peacefully with the assassin bugs. Now, peacefully, of course, I'm sure some of them will get picked off, but you know, if there's a cleanup crew that I could keep in there just to kind of clean up all that extra stuff that they drop, because they will prey on an item, suck out all the insides, and then just drop the carcasses. And sometimes they will drop the carcasses and not eat the whole thing. So there's a lot of stuff that gets left over on the bottom, and that of course will attract mites and things like that. So let's get on with the unboxing and find out how many spiny assassin bugs I have. These assassin bugs came packed with feeder roaches, most likely so that they wouldn't eat each other in transit. I believe these are red runners, which are not Florida legal, but that's okay. They're going to go right into the enclosure and they will be eaten within the next few days. Psytalla horrida, commonly known as the Horrid King Assassin Bug or the Giant Spiny Assassin Bug. Like their white spot counterparts, they are also fast growing and can reach adult size in about 8 months, with adults having lifespans of about 2 years. Psytalla horrida are the largest assassin bugs in the world and can reach sizes of about 2 inches. As far as care and husbandry is concerned, it is pretty much identical to that of the white spot assassin bugs mentioned before. The following day after rehousing them, I attempted to feed them some pallid roaches, but as you can tell by their nice round red abdomens that they are pretty well fed and full, so they were really not interested in food. Normally, assassin bugs are voracious eaters, but when their abdomens are round and full, they will usually hold off on food either until their abdomens go down or until their next molt. So at the moment, these young nymphs are not that fun and exciting. Not to worry, when they get older, they will become a whole lot more interesting, and I will keep you posted with updates. So there it is. I finally got my spiny assassin bugs and I'm so excited about it. There are 13 of them in there, and that's exactly what he promised me. I was originally going to buy 12, but he says, how about you buy 10 and I'll throw in some extra ones, which he did. And I got 13. Unlucky for some, but I'm not superstitious. Hopefully they will do well. And he did say that, you know, if I have any problems or anything, to let him know, and he'll help me out, because he, of course, is a successful breeder, and I want to be successful as well. He does recommend that if you want a successful colony, that you should at least buy 10 or more, which I've got that, and hopefully I can get them to adult size and get them breeding and have a successful colony of my own. And they're an impressive assassin bug. They get up to 2 inches. The white spot assassin bug only get about 1.5, maybe a little bit bigger than that. So I want to experience that. I want to see them at their full size, and I want to have a colony of my own so that I can enjoy them for years to come. Before I go, I'd like to give a huge thank you to Simon of Salaxis Reptiles. Thank you so much for the assassin bugs. They are awesome. Simon has his own YouTube channel where he talks about the care of assassin bugs and how he keeps them. And he even talks about different types of assassin bugs, such as the ghost assassin bug, which I'd never even heard of until I saw his channel. And it's definitely something that I might want to consider in the future. So thank you so much, Simon. And if you want to learn more about assassin bugs, I encourage you to check out the Facebook group World of Assassin Assassin Bugs. That's where I learned about Simon, and there are lots of vendors there from the UK and the United States, but I encourage you to be careful if you buy from private vendors, because there are lots of reputable ones out there, but there are also scammers out there. So just make sure that you check any reviews or anything that they might have on somebody that has sold them in the past, and they usually have that kind of stuff in those groups. Make sure that that person has some positive reviews on any sales that they've done before. And that does it for me tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you want to support this channel, I have a Teespring store where I sell Tarantula Haven merchandise. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. Your support is greatly appreciated. And if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter yourself, there's a link down below in the description. Until next time, keep loving them tarantulas and assassin bugs.